So I did a thing yesterday. This beautiful harp came home with us from Madison. And as most of you know, I do not play the harp. I had not touched the harp until a week ago when I saw it in the store and I plucked a few strings and I fell in love with this thing. And since then, I learned a whole bunch of things about the harp that I thought were kind of interesting and I would want to share. So this is a floor harp. It's a folk harp. It's not one of those huge things you would see in an orchestra. Those would be a pedal harp and probably cost anywhere from 10 to 50 times what I paid for this. But this one sits on the floor as opposed to a harp which you would hold in your lap. Now, some floor harps have legs on them. This one does not because it's a 36 string, so it's a full size. If you have less than 36, you probably have 5 to 8 inch little legs on them that you have to take off and put on whenever you're going somewhere with it. But this one is made of walnut, and you can see that the grain is just absolutely astounding on it. The back and the soundboard, it's just absolutely gorgeous. But what really sold me on it was the tone. The walnut and the large soundboard, since it is a full size, really does give a very warm tone. And you can see, I didn't know any of this before actually buying a harp, but first of all, there are 36 strings, like I said, on this one, which is just under 5 octaves. And each string corresponds to a white key on the piano keyboard. So it starts with a low C down here. Sorry, that sounds kind of buzzing because I'm plucking it the wrong way. And plucking is the wrong word, by the way. But the red strings are C's. The blue strings are F's. Now you see this one has some levers at the top. And I put these little blue and red rubber bands on them because it was hard to see. They were marked with little red dots and blue dots, but it was really, really hard to see. And what that does is it makes the string go sharp a half step. So like I said, there's only the white notes. So if I'm playing an F, for example, if I put this up, I get an F sharp. So that's how you can change the key. Now, if you're really familiar with pianos, you will know that we play in flats a lot. So how do you handle that? Well, it's not as simple as saying, okay, so if I want an E flat, I just, you can't get an E flat because you can only go sharp with the levers. So what we do instead to get more keys, actual key signatures out of a harp, is you tune it to E flat major. So my E's, my A's, and my B's, you can see that the levers are flipped up. That's because I have tuned the string. So let's take this E right here, for example. This is an E flat. So if I go, sorry about my fingernail noise on that. You can hear that sounds very minor. So in order to get a C scale, I have to flip the lever up. And by tuning it to actually E flat major and then flipping up the right levers when you want to play C major, it gives you all that flexibility of using the key of F major, and so that would be just the 1 flat, 2 flats would be B flat major, 3 flats, E flat major. So it gives you some flat keys to work with as well. So how does this work in an orchestra? You would have one of those huge harps that would be called a pedal harp. And down at the base where your feet would go, you actually have pedals. And each one of those pedals corresponds to a key. So you'd have 7 pedals, and you can make all of the strings that are C's sharp or flat by using just the one pedal for all of the C's. So you can change keys very quickly. You can play accidentals very quickly. Whereas if I'm playing along here and all of a sudden I need an F sharp, I have to flip up the lever with one of my hands before I actually play the key. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, learned something about a harp. These are the tuning pins over here, and this harp really did a nice job of staying in pitch today, so it was in really great shape when I played it again this morning. So anyway, that's what I've learned about an actual harp in the last few days. I'm going to do another video shortly that actually shows how to play the harp, what I've learned in the last 24 hours. And I'm hoping to post a video maybe once a month to show my progress, since I'm totally ignorant on harps. Have a great day.